I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. Your session is now starting.
Welcome
to the... I'm just really proud of this book club right now. Thank you guys for all showing up and being a part of this and reading with us. And I was talking to Cleo, and we were talking about the Skinny Confidential and how Lauren was talking about 5 important things you should do in your life to be, I don't know what it was, either successful or healthy or stable, who knows. But I think number 2 on her list of top 5 things was reading. I feel like reading is one of those things where you can go to an escape without feeling like you're numbing. It's actually like good for your brain, and you get to escape, and it obviously brings together community and dogs in this group, which I love when people show their dogs, cats too, sure. And it's just good for the soul. I feel like it's nostalgic. There's something about turning a page, and I'm glad we can all be here together tonight on this beautiful, what day is it? Who knows? Wednesday? Garbage day. Is it Wednesday? It's my garbage day on Wednesdays. Wine Wednesday. So thank you guys, and welcome to the Big Book Guys second meetup. Is that what we're calling it? A meeting? Discussion, if you will? I get really giddy about these. I get really giddy. I've been waiting all day. I went on a nice little hike this morning and went into a waterfall, and I was with Cece, Brett Kissel's wife, and we were talking about, we were singing Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, and we're like, why not? Seems like a nice life. I don't know what these rivers and lakes that we're used to are boring. I want to chase waterfalls. Anyways, we have leveled up since our last book club meeting. I don't have the charcuterie board that I once had, but I do have a more important thing in this Zoom. One Fable. If you're not on Fable, get your little tushy over there and get the app. There's over 600 big book guys in the Fable app, which is really cool because you can discuss chapter by chapter on this app without spoiling it. Like, I really wanted to do it on Facebook, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, Fable's genius. You can go in, you can discuss chapter by chapter. It's like an app for all of us who are reading without having spoilers, because I've gotten in like actual fights with partners, with girlfriends, with the internet over spoilers. And so that app is really incredible. And then we're still hoping to level up, obviously, in the future of the book clubs. We want to do some ones in person and do merch and a bunch of fun stuff. Could you guys imagine big book guy merch? Like, let's get in our nerd era, in our reading era, and like, reading is sexy. The Skinny Confidential says so I believe it. But obviously leveling up for this second discussion, because we have the GOAT, the legend, the one, the only, literally the most special guest I could possibly bring into a book club, Colleen Hoover, who wrote the book that we all read. Yeah!
Hi, everybody.
I told her before we started the Zoom, I'm like, I'm fangirling. I nerd out every time I get to, like, the fact that you repost our stuff. I'm like, you are the GOAT of all authors. I've read books like from whatever age to now, and I'm like, it just doesn't, nobody beats you. #1 New York Times bestselling author of 24 books. That is bananas. And some people are like, how does she just pump out that many books? I go, not only does she pump out that many books, they are all bangers. There's not one that I don't read that is not leaving me on the edge of my seat that I go, I finished that so quickly. It's crazy. You're amazing. Thank you for being on our Zoom today.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy day after Mean Girls Day.
Honestly, I have to like stop myself I know everybody posted on Instagram, and I saw one girl, I think it was, what's her name? Brittany. She is Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills, ex-girlfriend. But she was like, the feminine urge to ... It's October 3rd. It's just what it is. So thank you for bringing that up. I love it. The day after Mean Girls. So you're officially a big book guy now. How does it feel?
Wonderful. This is fun. How many people are in y'all's group?
Well, who's here? How many are here today? I know there's like 140 big book guys. No, more than that. 600
I can only see 6 people at a time. So that's a lot of people. Hi, everyone.
There's not, I think there's, 140, and then there's 600 on the Fable app. And I just want to grow this book club to be like, we're going to like take over cities at one point. We're just going to do like, we're going to have a Vegas residency of book guys.
I'll need to have a book guys cruise.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's genius. Will you come?
I would absolutely be there. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
That would be so much fun.
That's a great idea. I'm actually shocked we haven't thought about that. So many people read this book in like 1 or 2 days. It's one of those books that you're like, there's obviously a lot to it. Obviously, as you know, we've probably had to do trigger warnings, and some people are just like, it's like a car accident almost, where you're like, I can't look away. It's just so, it's so dark, and there's so many questions that we all have. So number one question, what is the number one question you get asked about this book, and why is it? How do you spell ASA?
It's Asa.
Asa.
Yeah, I thought everyone would know how to say that just because he was such a big character on, was it General Hospital or One Life to Live? That was in the 80s, early 90s, so long time ago.
I did watch General Hospital, but Asa. Oh wait, say it again.
Asa.
Asa. See, what
How are
did you
you
say,
saying
Alicia?
it?
I said Asa.
Alicia said Asa, and I said Aza.
Asa.
Like what? It's not a Z, but I put it in. Okay, I feel like that was a very burning question that everybody wanted to know. But then we all want to know how you created these characters in the book. When you're writing and you're creating characters, I'm sure sometimes you're basing them off of people you know. Sometimes it's like your imagination. But how did you create these characters from this book?
I try to avoid basing them off anyone I know in real life. Honestly,
You
like
do?
I don't want anyone coming going, oh, is that supposed to be so-and-so? I live in a very small town, so I can just imagine.
Yeah.
But this book is actually very different than all of the other ones I wrote. Not a lot of people know the whole story of this book, but it's actually the second book I ever started writing.
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
wrote Slammed, which was super sweet YA, and then I just was like, oh, I don't want to be stuck in that. I want to go dark. And so
Yeah.
I wrote like 5 chapters of this one and let my mom read it.
Stop.
Yeah. And Stephanie, who was my boss at the time, and they were like, it's a little dark, it's a little much, maybe wait a while for that one. So I actually set it aside and would work on it when I was stuck in between other books. I actually ripped a lot out of this book for other books. Like the title used to be Ugly Love, and I stole it.
Oh.
Characters used to all be names that I've used in other books, and eventually started writing it on Wattpad, 1 chapter at a time. And so readers were reading it live as it was being written over the course of several years. And it just became this big thing, this big group thing, where I would just go in and make the most ridiculous chapters I could think of, so that the discussions afterward, we would have like a book discussion on Facebook after every chapter that I wrote. And yeah, it was crazy. It was just kind of written over the course of probably 5 years, just for fun. And it was free on Wattpad for a year or two. And then, now it's on bookshelves, which is exciting and also mortifying.
Well, I always picture like, obviously Verity is one of our favorite books over here, and I've read it 3 times now. I've never read a book more than once, and I've read Verity 3 times.
Wow.
And it must be so interesting, because you're like, what are people thinking when they think like, this is my brain and this is how I write? Kind of the same way in Verity is, you're like, she had to go to a dark place, or did she, to create this character? And then do you ever worry that people are like, what are they going to think about my brain?
Yeah, but not really. Like if I worried too much about it, I probably wouldn't write the stuff that I write. I don't really care, what people think. Like I have fun with it. And we had a lot of fun as it was being written. I don't think if I would have wrote this book intending for it to just be like a novel that I put out at once, that it would have turned out the way that it did. Like it's very outlandish in a lot of scenes, and a lot of that was how it was written and the fun we were all having with it. And so, yeah, when I I can't go back and read it because I will probably be a little bit like, oh my God, I can't believe people are reading this and associating it with me and my thoughts. But I mean, I'm the one who put them on paper. So
I feel like people can compartmentalize like a writer and your writer's brain. Like it obviously, there's so many books out there that it doesn't have to do with like who you are as a person, but that's why we read them, is because it's like your writer's imaginations is always so mind blowing to me. All right, if you know me, you know I am intentional about everything I do. So let me introduce you to some liquid gold, the Clarins Double Serum. Double Serum is one of my favorite Clarins products and anti-aging daily holy grail skincare product. Ever since I started using it, my skin has looked super glowy and hydrated, and it's called the Double Serum because it's 2 serums in one. It's an oil-based serum and a water-based serum, which actually mimic the composition of your skin. I'm even intentional about how I apply it. So instead of just slapping it on and rubbing it around, I start using their lymphatic drainage application techniques, and I am obsessed. Clarins also has Double Serum Eye, a plant-based formula specifically for that delicate skin around your eyes. So it pairs perfectly with the Double Serum. You just apply it right before. I love that the texture is a lightweight gel cream combo, and it makes my eyes look just brighter and hydrated and smoother. It's amazing. Go to clarins.com right now to try this iconic duo and see for yourself. Plus right now you can get 10% off plus a free welcome gift. Go buy your Double Serum and Double Serum Eye and use code VINE23 at checkout for 10% off and a free 7-piece gift of skincare products. That's VINE23 to get your welcome offer only at clarins.com. You were going to call it Ugly Love, and clearly you wrote that as another book because I've read that book too. But what made you switch the title and why? Because Ugly Love makes sense for that one. So what does Too Late, how does that align with this book?
Too Late was actually kind of an inside joke because we didn't have a title in the beginning as I was writing it on Wattpad. And then it was an inside joke in the group about, and I honestly can't even remember what the inside joke was. And I ended up naming the file Too Late. And then it translated over to Wattpad. And then the title just never changed away from that. And so this is probably the one book where the title wasn't necessarily embedded into the story or come from the story like all of my other books do.
Oh, that's so interesting. That was one of my best friends who read it too. She's in here tonight. She was like, ask her about the title. And I was like, actually, that's a good question because I don't know how it goes with the story, but that's funny. That's an inside joke and it just ended up sticking.
Yeah.
Now, when you write, do you build off of one character? Like, did you start with one character and build from it? Or do you have kind of a story in your head and you put characters into it? Like, did you start with one person in particular?
It really depends on the book. It was so long ago when I wrote Too Late. I think I just wanted a villain. I wanted to write someone as horrific as Asa. It was a lot of fun to write. I hate saying that, but it was. He's probably one of my favorite characters to get to do a point of view from. But with this one, I had no idea where it was going. Usually I have somewhat of an outline or an ending or the plot twist, like something in mind. But this one I didn't. I kind of just wrote it as people were reading it, which was a very different experience for me because, usually you put an entire book out and then you get the feedback. But this was like, as I was writing it, I'd read feedback and then it'd spark an idea. So the readers who were involved in it from the very beginning are really had a big hand in the decisions that I was making along the way with this book.
It's so crazy. You really do have a very loyal fan base because I've seen there's Facebook groups for you of people that get like legit book tattoos of like your characters that you create.
It's crazy. And I'm always like conscious of that. I'm like, what if I do something that annoys you in the future or upsets you? But I guess it's the same. Like I have band lyrics all over me tattooed. So, I guess it's the same thing, getting a quote or a heart or something from a book that meant something to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like sometimes I want to go back and delete things off Instagram of like old relationships or certain things, but I go, it's part of my story.
Right.
It's a memory. Yeah. It's part of, a certain point in your life. And I feel like that's kind of what your stories are to people. You really get like so invested in these books, and it's like I get sad when they're over, and I'm sure everybody in this book club can agree that when it's over, you like can't wait to get to the end, and then once it's over, you're sad it's over, and you miss the characters. I don't miss Asa. I'm the worst.
You know, with this one, it was really funny because I had so much fun writing it that I ended it. Then I wrote an epilogue. Then I wrote an epilogue to the epilogue. I think there ended up being like 10 to 12 epilogues for this because it was just fun. Everyone thought it was over, and then I'd show up on Wattpad a month later with another epilogue. And so it kind of just kept going at the end. And that's the story of it. If like at the end you get a little confused because you're like, wow, this book just, you think it's over and then another chapter's there. That's because that's literally how it was being written. People were finishing it, and then a month later an epilogue would pop up, and a month later it was really fun.
That is fun. Is there something like, are there celebrities that you picture when you do characters? Because I tend to do that when I read a book, is I'm all of a sudden picturing this person as someone I either know in my life or somebody from TV or a celebrity or something. I don't know why I associate that. Maybe because I'm a visual person and I need to like see a face to go with it. But I don't know if you saw, but on Instagram, we did a movie cast for the book. Have you ever thought about that? Of course you think about this now because your book has been being filmed to be into a movie. But do you think about celebrities when you create them? And if you didn't before, do you now, thinking like this could be a movie?
You know, it's very hard for me to picture people as I'm writing. I'm not a visual person at all. And so their faces are all blurs to me. And it becomes very apparent how much I don't know what they look like when it goes in the editing round, because my editor will be like, what color hair does this person have? What color eyes does this person have? Like, because I describe nothing. Like I want readers to kind of put themselves in the character's shoes and make them look like how they want them to look. So I don't put faces to my characters, but it's always really fun when it's over and the book is out there to see everyone's interpretations. Zac Efron, I believe I picture in most books when I read.
Yes, same.
Yeah. Circa like 2010 Zac Efron. I don't know. I'm not a visual person, so that's interesting. I can't recognize people in real life. So maybe that has something to do with it.
But I also like that because it does give the reader the chance that if you are a visual person, you can kind of dictate what they look like in your brain. And then I feel like once I read like the first chapter, I already know in my head what these characters look like what their outfits are, what they're wearing. And I know that was a big hoopla. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it with the movie that
it ends with us.
I'm like, it starts with us, it ends with that. It ends with us. But like when that came out with people behind the scenes showing what Lily was wearing or something, and everyone was like, she wouldn't wear that.
I know. I'm like, I literally don't think I described one single outfit in that book of what Lily was wearing. I'm like, I don't know what Lily would wear. But no, it's just fun. Like everyone was like getting so upset, about people getting upset about it. And I'm like, I like that people are so into it and passionate and like the book enough to care what she's wearing. So I just saw it as a good thing.
It is a good thing. And it's also not on you because you didn't ever say what they were wearing. So it's not like you chose the wardrobe. You're like, blame wardrobe, not me.
Also, it's Blake Lively. She looks good in anything. Like literally you could put a trash bag on her and she would make it hot.
You could put Taylor Swift on her arm at a football game and she will look. I'm like, are we done talking about that yet? Okay. So in the book, Sloane and Luke did that cute little random writing thing. My producer, Alicia, who's here, and we were doing that earlier because we were like, that's such a specific thing. Like that's what blows my mind too about authors, how you can just be so specific and like maybe you're not visual, but your pen must just go sometimes. And I'm like, was that inspired from something? Because it's so specific. And we were trying to do it at the dinner table earlier. What did you say, Alicia?
The black cat ate a toaster strudel and he had a terrible day.
The black cat ate a toaster strudel and had a terrible day. And I said the rubber duck fell out of a tree and ate a dog. And then I was like, ew, dark. But like, is that something specific or how did you come up with that concept?
I honestly don't even remember. A lot of times writing for me is kind of like watching a movie. Like I feel like I'm just watching a movie and dictating what's happening. And so when things like that happen, I'm like, oh, that's fun. Oh, I like that part, and then sometimes I have the opposite problem and everything sucks and I throw it all out. So, sometimes things work, but no, that's actually not anything I ever did growing up or pulled from anywhere. I do pull a lot of things in my books from, like just real life moments, but that was not one of them. That was just a specific to those two characters.
I want to know, when you go out for dinner or you're on a walk, like, is your brain just constantly pulling things from every scenario to be like, I should write about this?
Yeah, I think, the most common question I think writers get is, where do you get your inspiration? But for me, it's like, how do you turn your inspiration off? Because I constantly live inside my head. It's hard for me to pay attention to the world around me. And then when I am like at dinner with my husband or something, I'm completely eavesdropping on the table next to me, trying to like, what's their story, and inventing one in my head. And it's constant. Like I can just see someone walking down the street and I'm just like, what's their life? Who broke their heart? Like, yeah.
I do that when I'm in New York City. It just feels like you can see right into somebody else's world in their homes. And I'm like, how did you what turns did you take in life to get there? And I come up with a whole scenario in my head of like why they are, what they do, what their name is. And it's a fun little game. So I feel like you're right. You can't shut that off. That's probably a lot, but makes for great reading for us. So thank you. Okay, I hate to interrupt this book club discussion, but I got to talk about Wella Professional's new line, Ultimate Repair. Okay, the most premium line to date, developed with 140 plus years of experience and research to deliver the very best. Miracle Hair Rescue repairs hair in only 90 seconds with its key ingredients, AHA and omega-9, rebuilding the hair bonds inside the strands and replenishing the outside barrier of damaged hair. Now, this luxury product has rich textures and floral scents, and it's designed for all hair types and textures, and it's the perfect luxury leave-in spray treatment that everyone can benefit from. I'll tell you how I use it. So after I get out of the shower, I take the Miracle Hair Rescue. I spray it like, I'm gonna guess 7 times all over my wet hair, and then I just wait 90 seconds for it to do its thing and repair my damaged hair, and that's it. Honestly, no rinsing needed. I just comb, style, do whatever I gotta do. Gosh, repairing my hair in just 90 seconds really is a miracle. I'm always on the go, in a rush, or I don't know, lazy. I can stay committed to my hair care without a huge time commitment, and I love that. So you can try Ultimate Repair Miracle Hair Rescue with 10% off the travel size on Amazon by using promo code 10VINE. Okay, if you didn't already know, my skincare products, very important to me. You're like, we get it, Kaitlyn, but I'll probably never stop talking about it. So when I like a brand, I just make sure I don't gatekeep. So really, help me help you, okay? Which is why I got to tell you about Oak Essentials, a line full of luxurious products that work especially if you're trying to achieve that natural, no makeup look. The moisture-rich balm will make you never want to wear makeup again, actually. With the best ingredients like organic coconut oil, sea buckthorn fruit oil, and organic cocoa seed butter. It is nutrient rich and supports collagen production while delivering serious hydration for a luminous glow. God, I love a dewy glow. I just love a dewy glow. And I love that their approach to aging is centered on the idea of helping you look and feel beautiful and your best at every age. I should get that tattooed. Feel your best at every age. Oak Essential is the go-to skincare brand for radiant and glowing skin, and my followers get a 15% off your first order when you use code VINE at checkout. That's 15% off your order at OAKESSENTIALS, oakessentials.com. Promo code VINE, whether you're starting from scratch or filling in the gaps. Oak Essentials gives you one less thing to worry about. So treat yourself because you deserve it. Also, at the end of the book, you decided to name the baby Dalton, and I want to know if there's any reasoning behind that.
Wasn't that his best friend's name?
Oh, right. Luke's best friend.
Well, because he doesn't go by that in the book. They have their
right
name. I'm almost like, don't get me to lying, y'all. It's been a long time since I've been inside this book, but I feel like I remember Luke wanted to name it after his best friend.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I blanked on that until you just said it, but yes. And also I wanted to know why the choice to not give the details of the paternity test.
I just felt like it was sweet that he didn't care if it was his or not, but there's actually like a hidden chapter somewhere online that solves that. It's not, I don't think it's not in the book. No. Yeah, I think I just wrote it in my Facebook group. Actually, you know what happened? There was a reader who messaged me, and she she just messaged me at the right time because I was sitting at my desk, and this was several years ago, and she was like, I need an answer. I need to know what happens. And I was like, okay. And so in the private messenger, I just messaged her a little paragraph and re-ended it for her. And then like a couple of years after that, she brought it up in cohorts and posted it in there. And so it was really something I just wrote for one reader because she said she wanted it. And then, but now it's in my cohort group if y'all want to search it.
Yeah, we definitely want to search it.
Yeah, I'll try to pop it up so it'll be at the top of that group.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh. That I'm like, can we hang up now? I gotta go figure this one out. Just kidding. I've been thinking about it since I finished reading. I'm like, come on. My thought is that it actually is God, I'll never say his name right. Asa. What is it?
It's Asa, you're right.
Asa, yeah. Okay. I feel like it is, but I love thinking that he's that sweet that it doesn't matter. So I'll wait. I'll pull it up.
Hey, I don't know how to pronounce my name, so we're good.
Wait, what?
Like every time I talk to a human, I say my name differently.
Oh, I
like,
thought
I
you
don't know
just
if it's Colleen or Colleen.
I thought
Oh,
you
you think I said you don't know how to say my name?
Yes. And I was like, wow.
I love it. You freaked out though.
Wait, how do you pronounce your name?
It depends on who I'm talking to. I don't know. So my mom named me Colleen, and I said that for the first 15 years of my life. And then I met my husband when I was 16, and he says Colleen, and I just hear that all day. And so I started saying Colleen, especially on the phone at work, because no one could understand me when I said Colleen.
Yeah.
And that stuck. But like if I'm talking to my mom or my sisters or anyone that says Colleen and I say my name, it's Colleen. But then I notice when I introduce myself, I say Colleen. So I don't know. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's fun. You have two names. I'm just glad I pronounced it right and not wrong. Somebody I know couldn't read the book because it was too much of like too close to home. So how did you navigate writing, and what challenges did you face while writing a book kind of like this one?
You know, it was really interesting the way this one was written live. And so I really got into some deep discussions with readers. We really had a lot of really good discussions on like what consent meant to them. And, you know, there were a lot of triggers in this book. And so it was really very interesting. I think that was definitely hard at times, you know, to write some of the scenes that I wrote. It's a very dark book. And being inside Asa's head sometimes, I was like, my gosh, are there people out there that really think like he thinks? And sadly there are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that with every book there are definitely moments where I'm like, oh, that's not fun, but it's part of the story, and I continue to write what the characters want me to write. So
that's cool that you can end up having pretty intimate discussions with readers and people who do, you know, put so much into reading your stories. Like, I feel like that's cool. You can have conversations with them along the way.
My favorite thing to do, yeah, I with every book that I write, I start a discussion group, and then as soon as beta readers start getting it and readers, I create a discussion group on Facebook for that book. So every book I've written has a Facebook discussion group, and for a solid month after the book releases, I go in there and answer questions, and we discuss the book, and then I kind of have to remove myself after about a month, or I'll just stay in the groups forever and answer questions. But and usually after about a month, I get most of the questions that are going to be asked. So you can go in and search every book that I've written and search the discussions back when the book released. But it's one of my favorite things to do. It's just fun. You know, like I've put so much of my time, pretty much a solid year, to each of these books. And so then getting to release it and not just be done with it, and then, you know, get to have that conversation with the readers is one of my favorite parts of releasing.
I will go back and look up that. I would love to read the discussions that come from that, because I feel like every book I've read, especially yours, I'm so biased to your books. It's crazy. It's actually embarrassing. But I'm like, I get so into them that I would love to read other people's thoughts, and like how, you know how with music, a song can be like certain lyrics, but it can mean so many different things to different people. I feel like that's storytelling, and that happens from books too. And it would just be fascinating to hear everybody's discussion on these certain books.
No, it is. It really is. Like, especially the people who you think when you write a book that you know how people are going to react to it, and that you know what people are going to think about the characters. And I'm always blown away that there are so many different views and opinions. And even with Too Late, I'm like, oh, everyone's going to hate Asa. He is not a book boyfriend. There's a few people out there that call him their book boyfriend. And I'm like,
no.
Yeah.
No.
And so it's really interesting seeing all the different opinions that come afterward. You know, I enjoy that.
I mean, there's a lot of different characters out there. Out of all the books, I mean, I know there's one is being made into a movie, but what book would you choose to be made into a movie besides that one?
Definitely Verity. I really want to see that on screen. And Amazon actually has that one and is working on a script. I don't know where they are in the movie making process. I need to reach out to them. They try to update me, but I'm one of those people who's like, I don't want an update until it's done.
I get that.
Yeah. So I just don't like getting my hopes up. Yeah. But that's the one I definitely want to see.
And who would you do you have ideas in your head of who you'd want to play those characters?
I've always envisioned Parker Young in the role of Jeremy. He's more of a comedic actor, but I just feel like he would be really fun to watch in something dark. And I don't know about the girls. I really don't.
Well, I could be Verity. I'll just lay there under the sheets.
You could probably do very well in that. Can you not laugh? Can you keep a straight face for a while?
Actually, no, I'd be terrible at the role of Verity. I'd just be like, like when she pees her pants, I'd be like, oh my God. If that book becomes a movie, I will lose my noodle. Do you think you will write more books like Verity, like the dark side of things?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to come up. It's very hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, to me, Too Late released 8-9 years ago. It's not a new release to me, and I know it is a release to a lot of people. But so for me, like, I still need that book that's going to follow up Verity, you know, like the darker thriller kind of. And I'm being very picky. Like, when I get an idea, and I just nothing has stuck yet, but I'm working on it.
Good. I can't tell you. I don't know if I just have a closed mind when it comes to other books, but nothing does it for me the way that your books do it for me. And what's the one I have by my bedside that I'm about to start, even if we're not picking it for the next book club? Did you see? It's Letters, something about letters.
My book?
Yes, it's yours.
Is it Regretting You? Because there's a torn up letter on the cover.
Yes. I'm about to read that. I think that's the only one I have not read, but otherwise I'm obsessed. You are brilliant. You're so fun to talk to. We love having you here for the book club meeting. I just think it's so cool. Like, I try and think of guests to have on for, different conversations for, like, I've been experiencing misogyny, so I want to have an expert on. I have this and I want to have an expert on. And I wanted this show. I watched this show, so I want to have this person on. But with reading, I'm like, guys, we have Colleen Hoover on our book club meeting. So I just want to say thank you from all of us for being here and for answering these questions and for sharing your gift of writing with all of us, and where people, where can they find your Facebook group and you on Instagram and all the things to keep up with what you're doing?
Pretty much everything's my name. I'm really good. And when a new app comes up, I steal my name, very early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Facebook, I have a group on there that I'm very active in. It's just Colleen Hoover's cohorts, but be careful because there's some copycat groups out there. This one has about 200,000 members, so make sure you check the member number. But yeah, and Colleen Hoover everywhere else, or Colleen Hoover.
I might call you Colleen now because I feel like we're friends. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
I just bow down to your work and who you are. And everybody in the Big Book Guys group chat says thank you.
Thank y'all so much for reading.
Never stop doing what you're doing, please.
Yeah, I've been seeing the comments come up. Everyone's so sweet. Thank y'all so much. Y'all made my night.
We'll probably pick one of your books again in the future, and maybe we'll be able to one day do this in person.
Oh my gosh, that would be fun. I'll come to you. You just tell me, but be somewhere fun.
Okay, fine. You tell me where to go, and we'll all be there. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye. Pino, say bye. You gonna come up? So the next book for the Big Book Guys book club is The Housemade by Freda Mcfaden. What a name. Let's get Freda on.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My girlfriend read this right after she read Too Late. And I said, how do you go from that? And she goes, I was sucked right back into this book and finished it in 3 days. And also I know a lot of people wanted Verity for the book club, and I've read it 3 times. Like, there's going to be times where obviously this happens, but I'm really excited. If you have read it, you can read it again or be part of the Fable app.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody who is part of the book club and came to hang out tonight. I just love this.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. Your session is now ending. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind a rating and review.